Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub, Pub Sports Radio, Wednesday, March 2nd. Ian Cameron, Dutch Boy Fresh, Trot Wham. We'll have Skee Profit with us momentarily as well, ready for the Wednesday NBA card, ready to break it all down. Interesting Tuesday night. Interesting in that there's some shenanigans, I thought, in that Mavericks-LA game. It's kind of interesting, though. The Mavericks dominate the first half, and then they fall asleep in the third quarter, come back, and sure enough, what's the game land on? 5. Right where the number was at the end of the day. So crazy stuff there with the Mavericks and the Lakers. But I was never really worried about the Mavericks. They were trailing in the fourth quarter early. The Lakers made that run. I'm like, Dallas has this. They're going to win this game. Lakers will crumble. And that's exactly what happened in the latter stages. But I guess didn't win or lose. You know, we talked about the whole world was going to be on Dallas last night. And sure enough, it lands on a push pretty much for everybody. At -5 in that one. But it is what it is, and what it is a Wednesday NBA card to break down. So let's get to it. Charlotte and Cleveland to start it off. Cleveland 4-point home favorites here, 218.5, 219 the total here in this game. Cavaliers, some money coming in on them because of the fact that Darius Garland, who's been missing, he hasn't played in 8 of the last 11 games for Cleveland. He's missed 3 straight due to injury. We might be seeing Darius back tonight for the Cavaliers. He's been upgraded at least to game time decision, and he did participate in the shoot around this morning. So usually that's a good sign. I mean, he's still listed as questionable game time decision, but if you're shooting the ball early in the morning, the day of the game, that's usually a good sign that you might play. So we could be seeing the return of Darius Garland. Not a moment too soon for the struggling Cavaliers, of course, who have lost 4 of their last 5 games. They failed to cover in 5 straight games. The only win was against Washington. They've obviously suffered at the point guard spot with Garland out. Brant Goodwin's had to take over that spot. So it would be a huge, huge boost for Cleveland. Charlotte, on the other hand, well, thought maybe after the All-Star break, maybe they're going to go on a run here. They beat down Toronto, and since then, not so much. They get beaten by the Pistons in a bad home loss to the lowly Pistons. And then, of course, they get crushed by Milwaukee the other night, 130-106. So it was a good play there for me with the Bucks first half full game the other night. I think a lot of us liked that bet for them to beat down Charlotte. They did that. I kind of lean Cleveland here, laying the points. I think if Garland plays, this is a good spot for them to get back on track with a win. I don't trust Charlotte here. No defense being played by that Charlotte team. If we get Garland in the lineup, and even if he doesn't play, I still lean Cleveland. I want no part of Charlotte here. Wham, we'll start with you on this game here, Charlotte-Cleveland.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. In this game, I think I do want Cleveland because you're getting the Garland back. That's definitely a big piece. You know, a lot of what they're missing, just some type of consistency at that position. But this team, man, as far as the Charlotte Hornets, they have been scoring the ball a little bit better than the Cleveland Cavaliers, but obviously that's without Garland. Him coming back, I'm not expecting him to do that much as he normally would. So that may be having me a little bit off. The Cavs here, so I think the over may be in play here. To be honest with you, I'm just not really sold that the Charlotte Hornets are going to be playing any defense, of course, right? And you've seen the Cavs kind of show that they're at least trying to win games without Garland. They pretty much fall back. Had me a little bit scared against the Timberwolves when I did have that on the last game. So I think they could probably compete here with Garland coming back. I do like the over here. I think the 218 may be a little bit a little wide open here. Charlotte can score a lot of points, and if you get the pace to be there with the Cavs, they may be able to do it. So I like the over in this spot.
Yeah, I could see it. Minnesota pulled Cleveland into an over, and Garland might be back tonight. He didn't play the last game. So if Minnesota's pulling Cleveland into an over, maybe the Charlotte team can. Again, with Charlotte, they've been able to score no problem with LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, and Bridges, but they've obviously been trouble stopping anybody on the defensive end of the floor. I thought Montrezl Harrell was supposed to help that a little bit for Charlotte, but still not really playing very good defensively right now. Dutch, what do you think here? Hornets, Cavs.
Yeah, man. Real quick, salute to the ladies, gents, and Adidas for tuning in. You already know it's all love. It was West Coast Wednesday, and the NBA is a hell of a drug. And you looking at the plugs. Yeah, man. Hey, be sure to hit this motherfucking like button like I'm hitting this plane of Gushers. Get you right where you need to be. Also, share the video as well. Everybody in the chat. Polly Walnuts, I see you, my dude. Dennis getting money. Always with the positive vibes, my guy. Star Child. here and there with them positive vibes. But I fuck with you, my dude. Nasty Nate, as always, we stay getting right, bro. Hey, but you already know it's been a beautiful week. Let's keep it. Let's continue. Let's start us off right. Let's hit the like button and share the video, and let's keep it motherfucking moving. And we are going to be back in here. Usually I start us off with a backflip. It's a little different today. This is an exotic play, and I'm hitting this motherfucker. Ian and Wham both said it, but I believe we will see a good amount of Garland because I don't think they've actually rushed him back, Wham. So I think the Hornets are auto fade here, and we can load up on the Cavs. This is a game, I don't want to say a must-win for the Cavs. They struggled of late, and they need to win this game because the next 5 games, the next 4 out of the next 5 games they have on deck, Sixers, Raptors, Heat, Bulls. They need to take advantage of a team that they're clearly better than, and the Charlotte Hornets that struggles to really play team basketball. I know they got Harold. They had an impressive win against Toronto, and then they fall flat against Detroit, and then we've seen what happened. Clear good read from everybody on the panel. Ian touched on it against the Bucks. I just simply believe we could take advantage of a Hornets team that really isn't in the team basketball concept. They have trouble with bigs and rebounding, and now you're bringing in Jared Allen, a motor that doesn't stop, and obviously Mobley. They should attack and beat them easily by the boards, just like Milwaukee did. I believe Milwaukee was plus 20 in rebounds. The Hornets are 1-8 last 10 on the road. On 1 day's rest. 1-6-2 last 9 versus a winning team. So against the team that has a winning record, they fall flat, especially against the number. They're 2-4 ATS last 6 versus Cleveland. The Cavs have had their way, and then also I mentioned that they've been rebounded 29 rebounds last 2 games, but the Cavs have lost this game. They lost to Charlotte on February 4th as a 7-point dog. So this line's very telling. Now this was in Charlotte with no Garland. And my man Jared Allen had 29 and 22 in that motherfucking game, and they won the game outright. Now you got them looking at 3.5, 4. This is good money right here. Load up on the Cavs. They will win this game.
Go Cavaliers laying the point. Skee, Charlotte, Cleveland.
Yeah, I was waiting to see the status of Garland. If Garland was out, I really probably was going to get involved with Allen props. Like Dutch mentioned, he killed him last game. I think he can have success again here in this one because Charlotte is a terrible rebounding team and just not good against the center position. So, I'll wait and see if Garland's in or out. I think he's going to be in, and I probably would agree with you guys at that point.
He's playing, bro. Get on him now. He's playing.
Not confirmed, but I think he's playing. He's in the shoot around this morning. I think he's playing.
He's playing defense last practice, and they had him against other point guards and stuff like that. So they ramped him up. I think he is playing today for sure.
Yeah. We're reading the tea leaves here, all 4 of us. We think he's playing tonight here for Cleveland tonight. All right, next up we got Indiana, Orlando. Pacers 2.5-point road favorites, 232. So you can lay points with Indiana on the road. Doesn't sound like a good idea. You take Orlando and trust them to win a game. That doesn't necessarily sound like a great idea either. So it's tough to bet this one from a side perspective. I might get there with the over because it's a rematch situation. First game stayed under. A lot of times I like to see the reverse happen in the second game when it's the same 2 teams head-to-head 2 straight times. So that game actually stayed under, 119-103 final score. Victory for the Orlando Magic in that game actually is a revenge spot for Indiana. And they will have Brogdon back. So I think the fact they lost to Orlando the other night and they got Brogdon back, figure that they're going to bounce back and beat them this time around. I don't disagree, but I still don't like the idea of just laying points with on the road with Indiana. That's just a concept I can't get behind, because of just how poor that they've been on the road. We're still talking about 6-24 on the highway, straight up. They've won 6 games on the road this year at Indiana, and you got to lay points with them on the road here. I would just stick to the over here in this one. I do think you'll see teams shoot better in this game. Both of them a little bit not so great there in the last game. You'll see better performances here. Brogdon back for the Pacers should help them. Like I say, I would look at over, if anything, in this game, but don't really love the idea of laying points with Indiana. I get it. They're going to have Brogdon back, and they're coming off a loss. But, boy, that road record, 6 road wins, 6-24, and I got to lay points with them on the road. That's tough. Tough to get behind that. Skee, what do you think? Indiana, Orlando?
I would be betting my boy Hallie if I'm doing a player prop, whether it's points or assists or however you want to bet them. That's the way I'm just going to go pretty much every time Indiana's out there. I agree with everything you said, Ian. I don't want to expect either one of these teams to win a game. So, I just have a system, and I played it accordingly. And it's tough, to play an under, but that's what it tells me to do. And these teams played not too long ago. Was I think opened at 233 or 234, and it opened up smaller than that today. And that's telling us the market thinks it's going to be a lower scoring game, in my opinion. So I'm rocking with the under today.
Yeah. Don't Star Child. If you took Lakers plus 4.5, just don't let Teddy Covers, who Skee and I know very well, see that, because he's going to come after you and say bad betting skills. You got to have better betting skills than that. You could have got plus 5. You could have got plus 5.5 with the Lakers in that game. What are you doing betting plus 4.5? You'd say some shit like that. But you're right. He would actually be right in that regard. If you lost with the Lakers last night, that's just you didn't bet the number when you should have. You know, there were 5s most of the day. There was even 5.5 for a bit. You know, you got to bet better numbers.
Can I ask? I wasn't here yesterday. You know, did anybody pick the Lakers yesterday?
Nobody.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Come on,
Bro,
man.
I just wanted to make sure because last time people was liking the Lakers, and I was already told you I threw in the towel, so I just was checking.
Yeah. Why you gotta bring up old shit, bro?
Bring
bring up old shit. The Clippers game, yeah, you was right. Yeah. Fuck the.
No, I had the
I'm a
Mavs
big
last night.
Lakers
That's
fan.
why I know.
He had the Mavs. He had first quarter, first half Mavs.
That's probably why you made it a sweat, motherfucker. You made it a sweat.
Hey, I had the first quarter too. Goddamn.
Get in and get out. Yeah, it's just Mavericks fell asleep, and the Lakers kind of said, "Hey, we are on national TV. Maybe we should show something here in the third quarter."
Right.
Dutch, what do you think here? Magic and Pacers.
Yeah, man. I don't give a fuck about this game. Real talk. Big shout out to Paulie Walnuts. I see you, my dude Tiffany in the chat. Zachary, everybody, man. This game is horrible. So yeah, I had a feeling Skee would want it though. He's been fucking around with these backwards a little too much. I'm getting worried about his health, man. I'm getting worried about it. But hey, hopefully we get him right. Hopefully he hits this under. But yeah, this game is a clear backwood for me. But I will say this: Malcolm Brogdon back. You would think the Pacers would get him back, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I would only take Indiana too, because Brogdon back, revenge spot. But come on, laying points with a 6-win road team. I mean, that's definitely something better I can find to bet than that. What do you think here, Wham? Indiana, Orlando?
Yeah, man, we talked about this last time. You know, both teams are pretty much high, fast-paced teams. They're trying to get to the pace that we didn't hit the over last game. Was unfortunate. I do like it again in this game. Just based off of that here. I know Brogdon's coming back. You think if you have him defense here, that boy he ain't gonna be out there playing that with defense, man. It's just too fast, too fast of a pace for him, man. He gonna be out there trying to get his jumper off, trying to get some of those Hallie assists. I am on Halliburton over 8.5. I did take that at minus 110. I think you may be getting probably like around minus 115 right now, something around there. But man, yeah, I just think it's gonna be a high pace type game. Markel Fultz did look good last game. So maybe he gets another good game under his belt. So I do like the spot. But as far as what Ian was saying, man, come on now. Yeah, you can't back either of these teams on a home. I mean, it's not any better for the Orlando. They only won 7, bro. So for the year. So as far as Indiana only winning 6 for the road, it's the same fucking side. So it's a toss up on the side. I was backward there, but I do like the over, and I did take Hallie.
All right, over and Halliburton props for Wham in this one. All right, Knicks, Sixers, Philadelphia 10.5-point home favorites, 223.5 the total in this matchup. The Sixers, of course, they got finally James Harden on the floor here for them since the All-Star break. And when you look at the way he's played here so far for the Sixers, 29 points against the Knicks, and then he also had 27 against Minnesota in these 2 games. So pretty impressive. By the way, this is something to keep in mind. I said after the break, them getting Harden, how would they play from a totals perspective and from a side perspective? And I had a feeling that, look, Harden can frustrate you sometimes, but with him coming in, I thought it would be Sixers would be maybe a bet on, and they'd go over the total in their games. Sure enough, what's happened? Exactly that. 2 straight wins, 2 straight covers for Philly. Games have both gone over the total. The Minnesota game and the Knicks game. I'd probably lean the same way. Philly laying the points in the over 223.5. Like, we got to stop talking about the Knicks like they're a good defensive team. They're not good this year. That was last year. They were a pretty good defensive team. This year, not the same. You look at all of these point totals they're giving up. 127 in a loss against OKC. They've lost 5 in a row, 0-5 straight up, 0-5 against the spread. Terrible defense during that 5-game span. How bad has it been? 118 points per game allowed. 47.4% field goal percentage allowed in the last 5 games for the Knicks. That's awful. considering how good they were at that end of the floor last year. Hasn't been the same this year. So to me, this is over the total here. Once again, I've been on the Philly 76ers in both games over the total since Harden made his debut. Both of them flew over the total with room to spare. I know it's a rematch. Same two teams, this time in Philly. They played in New York a few days ago, and you sometimes think the second game will stay under if the first game went over, but this is a trend I'm riding right now with the 76ers. Overs in the first few games without Harden until the market catches up here a little bit. So I would like over 223.5. The Knicks still are finding ways to score offensively. There's no doubt R.J. Barrett has done himself pretty well the last few games. He had that monster game. And of course, against the Heat, he had that game where he had 46 points. He had 24 in the game against the Sixers last time out. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. RJ is the one that's feeling it and with the hot hand for the Knicks. So if you're going to bet any Knick prop, might be him tonight. But smaller opinion on the Sixers, and I like the over, the total a little bit more. Dutch, we'll start with you here. New York, Philly.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to our guy, Real Simba. I see you, my dude. Sweaty Butcher in the chat, too. My guy, Sammy, Eric Jones. Yeah, this game, man, I'm just going to let all these Sixer fans and all these delusional motherfuckers praise. They're going to win by 20. You're going to see a whole bunch of dumb shit, how they're so good. It's like, damn, come on, man. First of all, it's the Knickerbockers. And you already know it's going to be real nice, sweet story to start out with. The story always starts out good with Mr. James Harden. It's the ending, and people just, I don't know why they don't want to think about that. The ending is the most fucking important part, right? So, but for this game, man, I would expect the Knicks to hang around early, to be honest with you, and this Philly to step on it late. If you want to bet this game, probably bet James Harden props. I believe Lit Picks or someone in the chat said, his home debut, he's gonna show out. I believe it. Now there could be the worry is this game could be 25 points in the fourth, but either way, I'm gonna back with this motherfucker, and I'd only look Philly though full game.
Lean Philly for Dutch here in this one. Skee, what do you think? Knicks and 76ers.
I'm agreeing. I've been thinking about this game all day. I'm agreeing with what you said, Ian, and that is, I expect points. For one, you talked about how bad the Knicks defense has been. Yeah, down 118 points per game. I mean, Sixers, their team total tonight is 117. We've seen two games already, 125, 133. I don't see why we think anything different tonight. Especially it's Harden's first game at the house in Philly. There's going to be so much energy, and the players, all his teammates, going to make him have a good game. And I just think it translates to points. So for me, I would be looking towards that Sixers team total at 117. And I think, you can even get over the full game team total of 222.5 now is what I have available to me. I just need Knicks to score 105. They average 105 their last three games. I think they get there tonight. So team total over for Philly and full game over for me.
Yep. I would agree with both, definitely. And by the way, they've gone over the total. The Knicks are throwout last year when they were defense, a lot of low scoring. And they do play slow still. They do, the Knicks, but they're not playing defense, so it's making up for lack of tempo. They've gone 8-2 to the over their last 10 games, 4 straight overs coming into tonight for this Knicks team. And a lot of it has been the problems they've had stopping people. What do you think here, Wham?
Yeah, man, I agree with you. I think it is going to be points in this game. They get to play the Knicks again, bro. Like now that like you said, now that the fans are gonna think they the ones, bro. They beat the Timberwolves, they beat the Knicks twice. Oh shit, they coming, bro. Like, come on, slow this shit down. I don't think they have any shooters as far as Sixers, but they do have shooters that I'm going to take advantage on the prop market. I do like George Niang. I think he is their best shooter right now, in my opinion. I think he's prop is right now is at minus 130, so it is juice, but it's 5.5, so it's really not that much. He just needs to make 2 threes, and you cash in this one right here, and he's going to be in that corner. James Harden breaking down defense. I could see him being a recipient of one of those assists. So I think George Niang is hit out of the 11 games, it's hit 9 times. I believe it's pretty much a good look as far as on the prop side. As far as this total, as far as total, I do agree with my guy with the over. I do agree with anyone that likes Philly here, but again, it's a big spread. I wouldn't be touching the spread on this game. So I just like George Niang. That's the only bet I made in this game. That's the only direction that I have for y'all. My fault.
All right, next up, we got a good one here. Miami, Milwaukee, a lot of history. with these two teams. And there's going to probably be some good history made with them this year because they're both contenders in the East, defending champ Bucks, Miami, top team in the East. We've got great matchup here. Milwaukee, 4.5-point home favorites, 224.5 the total in this one. Miami coming off the 112-99 victory against Chicago. Great job by everybody that was on the show. It was Monday. Yeah, and Skee was on that day. Everybody made a case for Miami, saying Chicago doesn't beat good teams, and Miami's the better team, better defensive team. And Miami got the job done, blowing out the Bulls. They were really wire-to-wire winner in that game. They controlled the game most of the way. Great job by the Heat in that one. It's amazing, too, is no Kyle Lowry, no problem for Miami in that game. He didn't play. It was a good performance. And we said DeRozan, they're going to cool him off a little bit. They sure did. 18 points for DeMar DeRozan against the Miami Heat on Monday night. So great defensive job by the Heat in that one.
Shout out to Dutch.
In a game like this, you're not seeing me going against Miami getting 4.5 points. You're just not going to see me doing that. This is a very good basketball team, obviously. I think they can win the East. I've said that from the beginning this year. Now, Lowry's out again, but they showed they could win without him the other night. And I like what Milwaukee's doing too. But Milwaukee's been a little bit more, what have you done for me lately against good competition? That's the question you got to ask yourself about this Bucks team. Lost it to Brooklyn at home as 9.5-point favorites Saturday night in that primetime matchup on ABC against the Nets. They lost outright as favorites on this floor to the Sixers, 123-120, right before the All-Star break, before James Harden even started to play for the Sixers. They lost to Portland at home. They got crushed by Phoenix, the team that they played in the finals last year. Their victories are Charlotte, Indiana, both LA teams, in their last 8 games, and Portland and Washington. That's the victories for Milwaukee in their last 10 games. It's the Sisters of the Poor right here. So for me, it's Miami plus 4.5. This is a must take at this number. I think it's a competitive game. I think it's a close game. It usually is with these two teams. I mean, this year they've played each other 3 times already. Miami was won 2 out of the 3. Milwaukee did beat them down here at the house here, 124-102 on December 4th. But different situation, different portion of the year now. Miami's playing very well. Milwaukee is playing all right, but I don't like what they've done against the better teams that they've played on their schedule lately. It bothers me. And they're laying 4.5 here. So I like Miami here plus 4.5, even without Lowry in this game for the Heat. What do you think here, Wham? Miami, Milwaukee. We got Kyle Hintlian, who is he's a great viewer and listener. $10 dono because he watches the hockey show I do. He was on the betcast of the hockey show last night as well. He's tuning in daily here on Pub Sports Radio as well. Thank you very much, Kyle. $10 dono. We appreciate you. We know him well. Good family guy too as well. Hopefully the family is doing well. Hopefully you didn't make too much noise, when you were on the hockey betcast last night, waking them up. But you were saying you got a little excited. But thanks for the dono. We appreciate it. Wham, Heat, Bucks.
Yeah, man, this game is a tricky game. Obviously, last year playoff matchup. So it's a little bit bad blood between both teams. You got a guy that probably got PJ Tucker, who's going to probably have some type of motivation in this game as well. But again, I don't think. I mean, as far as Kyle Lowry, let's talk about that. As far as Kyle Lowry being out, it seemed like Tyler Hero picked up the pieces. He did show up. Chris Middleton finally showed up as well. You got Bobby Porter's playing really good for the Bucks. This game is a backwood for me, but it's just going to be really like a game that I'm really going to be watching and keying in on. Maybe my live look on Miami. I think Miami is the better team for sure, like you mentioned, Ian. It's just that I don't think a pregame is good enough for me to make a bet here on this game. So I think a live spot is probably where I'm going to go.
All right, maybe a live bet here for Wham in this one. All right, Dutch, what do you think here? Miami, Milwaukee.
Yeah, man. Hey, big shout out to our guy MD24. Pretty much said it best. Kyle's a cool motherfucker. Yes, he is, my dude. Yes, he is. I see you too, Alex. But yeah, man, this game, I like Miami here a lot. I do. I like Miami here. And to touch on a little bit of what my man Ian said, Milwaukee hasn't beat a team that's over 500 or better since January 1st. They didn't beat a fucking team that was over 500 in February. The whole month. It's got all the way back to January 21st against Chicago. They were a 4-point winner there. Other than that, these motherfuckers just don't play good. I mean, they beat the bottom tier teams in the NBA, like Ian was mentioned. They got until they can show me that they're going to beat a good team. And Miami's a top tier team. I would probably take Miami in a pick 'em here. So you're going to give me 4.5. I think strictly on a value purpose, you have to bet this game, and then on the eye test as well. But Miami's a deep, talented team, and I don't see that from Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's on cruise control. Like I said this morning, they still a little bit on vacay mode. I know Giannis brings it, but as a team, I think they're lacking a little bit. Obviously, Drew, my guy. I mean, he's my guy, but he's really in cruise control. But the Bucks are that team that could catch fire at any time. So I'm not mad at Wham when he says maybe chill out, live bet this. Maybe Milwaukee could come out hot, and then obviously the better team could show through 48 minutes. But I do have to think there's value with the 4.5. I do. So I did lock that in as official play. They're 5-0 ATS last 6 on the road. Miami 6-0 straight up the last 6 road games they've suited up. Now this year, and Ian, you touched on it. Milwaukee beat the shit out of Miami recently. That was without Bam. Big Bam, and also Jimmy Butler. Jimmy's only played in 1 game this year versus the 3, and they're 2-1 straight up and against the number versus them this year with a 10-point average in both games. So I think, as long as Miami comes in there, handles business. And the one knock on this game that was a red flag to me, but just like strictly value overdoes everything. And obviously, I think Miami's the better team. Is that they have Brooklyn on deck tomorrow. Now usually we say, that's fucking Brooklyn, but KD is coming back, I believe, tomorrow. So you could look at that as Miami, but then also, 2 days from now, the Bucks have Chicago on deck, which is a big game for them as well. So you could, take that for what it is, but I have to take the 4.5. The Bucks have not played good basketball, 2-4 against the number last 6 at the house, 1-5 overall against the number last 6, and they're 3-9 ATS last 12 in conference. I think Miami's the play here, boys.
Completely agree. It's just you can't be given a team this good, this many points against anybody. And even though Milwaukee's the champs, we know they're capable. They're just not playing great right now, especially against better competition. Skee, what do you think here?
You said something in the beginning, Ian, like you think Miami can win the East or something like that.
Yep.
I agree. And Jimmy Butler said they're gonna win the East. So he said that. He said that before the Chicago game. They came out and whooped on Chicago. And like you said, it's another team here who the last 5 games versus competition, they've lost every single one of them. So I don't think the Bucks are trustworthy. Honestly, as far as I can think, and I'm going to count out. I mean, I know everybody will say they won a championship. I get it. But even in that season or the past few seasons, I just feel like the Bucks are a team that feasts on the weak. And when it's competition, that's not really when you want to bet on them. So the Heat, total opposite. They're 11-3 straight up and against the spread versus when teams are better this season, and they're focused to get that number 1 seed. So I like them again tonight, plus 4.5, and on the money line, I took them plus 160.
All right, there, I like it. Well, just so you know, everybody, underdog, I bet in any sport plus the points. I do have a part of it on the money line for sure. That's every underdog. So no one has to ask do I like an underdog on the money line? Of course, I'm going to have a little small percentage of the bet on the money line every single time with an underdog. But definitely Skee mentioning it. He likes the money, specifically that he likes the money line as well. Plus 160 here on Miami tonight. All right, Sacramento, New Orleans. We got the Pelicanos, 6.5 point home favorites, 233.5 the total in this one. The Pelicans at home, where they've been actually not bad on their home floor throughout the course of the season. They're off back-to-back road wins against the Suns and the Lakers. I kind of like the way they are trending right now. Sacramento did have a very impressive result their last game, beating down OKC 131 to 110 to snap a 4-game losing streak. We'll see if they can carry over that success here to this game, taking on the Pelicans. But Pelicans at home, do I want to lay 6 is the question. I mean, we've seen them in the underdog role perform admirably, but I remember the last time they were 6.5 point home favorites like they are here, they lost outright to San Antonio. So that's the issue, right? Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from the Pelicans. No doubt about that. This has been a team that's, Ingram's playing well. McCollum has fit in nicely with them. JV doing his thing down low around the rim. Lots to like about the Pelicans. We ready to lay 6 with them. I know it's Sacramento, who aren't very good and don't play much defense, but are we ready to lay 6 with the Pelicans? That's the big question. New Orleans are pass for me, for sure. I lean Pelicans, but do I want to lay 6? I'm on the fence personally about that. Dutch, how about you? Sacramento, New Orleans.
Yeah, no on the fence for me. I absolutely will lay the motherfucking 6. Locked it in at 5.5.
All right.
6 is good money here. Big Val and them boys, man, they're gonna eat tonight. The Pelicans, I like what I've seen eye test wise. I believe Skee last time he was on the show, and we've touched on it. CJ's fit in, and you as well just now. And CJ's fit in perfectly, honestly. Just like knocking down the big shots where he needs to. He's playing running the point a little bit, which I do, which is my number one question mark for the Pelicans. Is obviously they don't have a point guard. But you got CJ playing. We got 8 assists last game, playing decent ball. I like what I've seen out of him, fitting in real nice. And then obviously they got BI running the point as well. Doing his thing, feeling real. He's obviously real comfortable in that situation there in that team. I like me some Jackson Hayes. The kid is a basketball player. Runs up and down the court, jumps out of the fucking gym. I don't, really want to see him shooting the ball too much. Just go to the hole, get rebounds, and dunk on motherfuckers. Is what I like to see. You need motherfuckers out there on these teams. You need cats out there that are just ready to just 110 the whole time, and then can just athleticism just overwhelms the other players, and it's contagious as well. And I do like the front line here, Big Val and these boys against. A suspect front line. I know they added Lyles with Sabonis instead of Harrison and Sabonis starting, but to me, it's still barbecue chicken down low. Big Val doesn't even have to worry about Sabonis spreading it on the 3. He's not really, nothing to worry about there, shooting around 30% from the 3. So I think Big Val will eat. I think BI gets his. And then I also like what they're getting off the bench with Devontae Graham. I think he's really comfortable in this situation. He's got the green light. And he can get hot and can put up points very quickly. I like the Pelicanos here. I think 6 is very good money. And also, I'm not fond of the motherfucking Sacramento Kings by any means. They're 1-4 straight up last 5. The 4 losses are by 8, right around 8 points per game. So it fits right in here. Now they're 2-16 straight up, last 18 overall on the road. They do not play good road basketball. You got a Pelicans team that's simply filling themselves right now after beating the Phoenix Suns and also the LA Lakers, and not in real good fashion. I mean, they showed the fuck out on both of these teams. And also, they've lost both games to the Sacramento Kings this year. Hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. It's very hard to beat a team on their home court that's better than they were on the previous 2 games, in my opinion. The Pelicanos are 5-1-1 last 7 as a home favorite, 8-4 overall against the number last 12. So I like the Pelicanos here. I like them a lot full game. If you like them early, I'm not mad at it, but the better team will prevail. Double-digit win here.
The way with that confidence and the way with that conviction that Dutch just said that makes me think you might be taking a walk down Bourbon Street and going to the Big Easy with that freshest look later on in the show. Wham, what do you think here?
It is Mardi Gras, baby. It is Mardi Gras.
It's Mardi Gras.
Sacramento, New Orleans. Wham, what do you like?
Yeah, man, I think it's a Herb Jones type day. He's the only person that he didn't mention, bro. I think Herb Jones balls out today, goes over to 10.5 points at plus money, plus 100 at even there. You can get that right now at Bovada, I believe. I do expect this to be points, bro. Over the last 3 games, New Orleans has scored 119 points. You know what type of team Sacramento is. They're going to give it up. 117 points they've been giving up over the last 3 games for them. And they scored that amount as well in that same span. I think it is going to be points in this game. I just like the props in this spot. So I did take Herb Jones. That's an official play for me. But I ain't mad at you about taking the Pelicanos, bro, because they just been playing really well. You obviously see the big difference in CJ McCollum being on this team. They got some type of direction, man. Maybe you could get rid of Zion, bro. No joking. For the most part, though, I think the Pelicans are going to be able to take advantage of this team. The Sacramento team is pretty bad, bro. And I do think Justin Holiday is probably a good look on the props on the other side, but I'm going to stay away from betting on anything with Sacramento, for the future here. I'm not fucking with him, but I like that a look for the Pelicans. But the only thing I got, Herb Jones over 10.5 points.
All right, Herb Jones to get 11 points or more for Wham in this one. Skee, Sacramento, New Orleans.
I like the Pelicans here. I just don't think it's a good spot for the Kings. Less rested team, and they play again tomorrow. Those teams past 2 seasons, 9 and 19 against the spread, 32%. They lose by an average of 8 points per game. So, I think Pelicans get it done. And like Dutch said, I've been riding CJ. I said I was going to play it till they start raising his point prop up to like 25. That's where we're at today. He still can go over, but it's another prop I think is a little bit better. And that's going to be Ingram at 5.5 assists. If you just look at, since CJ has been there, it's been 7 games. And the first game was versus the Heat. I'm not going to fault them for anything there. Heat, great defensively, and it's their first game. The next game, I just think Ingram I think CJ might have went off that game. And I just think Ingram has a lot of confidence over there, and CJ opens up the floor for everybody. So since then, Ingram assists 8, 4, 8, 7, 8. I think it's too low still at 5.5. I think he gets there tonight.
All right, there we go. Ingram assists. A very, very reasonable number, says Skee Profit for that. All right, to go over. Utah, Houston. We've got Utah, 15-point road favorites, 228.5 the total. A lot of money coming in on the Jazz here. This opened 12, 12.5, 15, 15.5 now the number in this one. A lot of injury concerns here for the Houston Rockets side of the equation. Dennis Schroeder, a game-time decision. Kevin Porter looks like he's upgraded to probable with the ankle issue. Garrison Matthews expected to play for the Rockets. So that is the good news. They're going to have some more artillery back, but can they handle this Utah team ends up being the big question. Is Utah the team that we trust to lay big numbers like this on the road? They did beat down Houston on Valentine's Day. It was a Valentine's Day massacre for the Houston Rockets in Utah, 135-101 that night. All Jazz winning by 34 in that game. We'll see if they can handle it here. And early this season, back in October in Houston, Utah was a 9.5-point road favorite in Houston. And keep in mind, they were 9.5 that night. Look what they are tonight, 15.5. So you can tell the adjustment that's being made toward the Rockets. And in that October 28th game, it was 122-91 for Utah. They won by 31. The only close game was actually the middle meeting in Utah, 116-111. And I think the Jazz were banged up. I think that was when Mitchell was out. Conley was out. A bunch of guys were out for Utah at that time. That's not the case right now. Everybody's on healthy again for the Jazz. Conley, Mitchell, Bogdanovich, O'Neal, Rudy Gobert. They've got their starting 5 pretty much intact going into this game tonight. I'm just going to double check once again because, like I said, the only close game with these teams was that January 19 game, 116-111. And you look at it, there was in that game no Donovan Mitchell. He didn't play. Mike Conley did. Gobert did. Okay, they were healthier than I thought, but no Donovan Mitchell for sure. He didn't play that night in that 116-111 game that Utah won, but Houston was competitive. So it's tough to trust Houston, bottom line. I mean, we're seeing what the Rockets have done of late. Of course, they had the one game where they were competitive with the Clippers, 99-98, but ended up losing last night, 113-100. Now they're on a back-to-back. Utah with a significant rest edge. They've been off for a couple of days prior to this game. So you're not getting a premium, but if I had to, it would be Utah, but I'm not going to lay this many. Backwood for me in this one. What do you think here, Wham? Jazz and Rockets?
Yeah, man, this is a backwood for me. I keep it short and simple. Yesterday, I did misspoke and said that it was the KPJ bobblehead night. It's today, actually, so he is going to be probable to play today. For a person that did cut his hair after having hair for a long time, maybe he feels a little bit quicker. But other than that, that's all I'm going to say about this game. This is a backwood, bro.
Good way to put it. Skee, what do you think, Utah, Houston?
I like this game, and pretty much Houston don't play any defense. You got to attack them some way, really, all the time. As long as the other team is capable, that's really all you got to look for. And so I look at, Rockets versus competition. And when I'm saying that right now, I'm talking about teams that are in the playoffs comfortably. You know what I'm saying? Like not play in, not close, not 8, not 7. They in there comfortably. And the last 18 games, I have Houston allowing 60 plus points in the first half, 15 out of those 18. And on the season, they allow 60.3 in the first half. So I'm already looking there. If I look at Houston on a back-to-back in the first half, they're allowing 67 points per game. And the Jazz have played Houston 3 times so far already. And in the first half, they averaged 67 points again. So I just think that number is too low. I'm going up and over. And if you don't have that available, I doubled up. I took this too. The regular first half over 111.5. The same scenario with Houston versus competition. They've cleared it the same amount of times, 15 times out of 18. So I like both of those tonight.
There you go. A couple of overlooks there for Skee with this one. Dutch, Jazz Rockets.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Don Mack. Our girl's Tiffany liking the Go Burt look. Think he'll get off tonight. He definitely should. If it's anywhere close, I expect him to load up the stats. Most definitely. Jacqueline Martin, I see you, my girl. What we got here, man? We got over 300 motherfuckers in. I done gave y'all 3 looks already. I've only bet 1 game each day the last 2. I gave you 3 motherfucking looks, and we still ain't even hit the Mando yet. You this motherfucking respectful, man. Hey, let's hit the motherfucking like button and share the video real quick. Let's get through this bitch and let's backwood this motherfucker real quick. Yeah, man.
All right. Now we go now. We got Oklahoma City, Denver. Denver 14.5-point home favorites here, 225.5 the total in this game. Denver starting to put it together. 6 straight wins for them. They crushed Portland last game, 124-92. Beat Sacramento twice, which isn't saying much since the All-Star break, but 3 straight wins since the break. And, of course, they won the last 3 games before the break, Toronto, Orlando, and Golden State. So it's a Nuggets team that's starting to roll. Jokic just continues to be ridiculous for them. I mean, what would they be without Nikola Jokic here, this Nuggets team? Just a absolute pillar of strength he is for this Nuggets team. All year he's been that again for them. It looks like they're going to get Murray and Porter back for the playoffs, the more we're starting to read and hear about it. So this Denver team, playoff time, you're probably going to have to deal with them, and they're going to be a tough out if they get everybody back again. But they're certainly playing much better now. We'll see if they can keep this going here on their home floor against the Thunder. It's a lot of points, and sometimes the Thunder can rise up and shock you and put a scare into you. But when I see you lose at home to Sacramento by 21, that's not a good sign, and it's not really inducing a whole lot of confidence in me for you to go to Denver and stay even within 14.5 points tonight of this Nuggets team, especially with the injuries too to the Thunder. Ty Jerome out, Kenrick Williams out. The big ones are Aaron Wiggins. The big ones are Giddey, of course, and Dort, the biggest of them all. Giddey out, and you look back and to the moment Dort went down to injury, Dort's missed a bunch of games now in a row for the Oklahoma City Thunder. You can trace it right back to when they lost him, 5 games ago. It was the Chicago game. He got injured February 12th. In all 5 games since that game for the Thunder, they've gone over the total, and they haven't played any defense. And it is a direct correlation to Lou Dort being out because he's their best defender by far. I think I've said this a couple of times now when we've been talking the Thunder lately. So that's what I'm looking at is over. Riding this OKC over train because I've been on it a couple of times. It's probably going to go over again. I mean, this team is probably going to have a tough time stopping Denver. But with SGA, they're always going to be capable of putting up points on the board themselves. They have scored 129 and 110 in their last 2. If they get 110 tonight against the Denver Nuggets, Denver's absolutely going to get 115, 120 against them, and the game will go over the total. So I like over here, 225.5, Thunder and Nuggets. Skee, what do you think here, OKC Denver?
So maybe I'm tripping, but I feel like I ain't heard too many backwoods from Dutch today. Yeah, I did probably cashing today.
Not as many. He's liking the buffet
I gave
today.
him 3 motherfucking looks already, bro.
That's going in.
You about to hear some backwood, believe that shit.
Hey, I was getting ready to start it off for you. I was gonna say, backwood this motherfucker.
Yeah,
there we go. He hasn't had many today, but there's one. Backwood for the Thunder and the Nuggets. Wham, how about you, OKC and Denver?
Yeah, man. Y'all already know where I'm going to go with this motherfucker, too. Shout out to Zachariah, to Jared, Mark. You already know Kyle. Appreciate the dono from earlier. Abel. It's a motherfucking backwood for sure, for sure.
Oh, my gosh. I might be alone on an island getting involved in this game. Am I right, Dutch? Backwood for you, too?
All right, man. You're absolutely motherfucking right. I don't want no part of this. And my guy, Jared TG, said it best. This is the definition of a backwood. My guy. Hey, backwood this motherfucker.
There we go. So it's over and 3 backwood for the Pub Hub crew with this game, Thunder and Nuggets. How about this final game? Final game here, Portland and Phoenix. Blazers, Suns. Suns, 11-point home favorites, 224.5 the total in this one. Phoenix, Back-to-back losses for the Phoenix Suns to New Orleans, 117-102 on Friday. It was last. I think it was Friday. Yeah, last Friday. Good call by Dutch. Dutch like the Pelicans, I remember. Plus the points there against Phoenix. They beat the Suns outright, and then they lose to the Jazz 118-114 in the next game Sunday night. So you've got this team back home after 2 consecutive home losses to the Pelicans and the Jazz, and a team that they could absolutely dominate. So it kind of feels like you don't want to step in front of Phoenix tonight. And Portland, we've seen the last couple games crushed by Golden State, 132-95, their first game after the break. And then against Denver, just as bad, 124-92. I mean, they've been absolutely demolished in these 2 games. Of course, Lillard's still out. But that's probably not going to change anytime soon. They have one player that I kind of like the way he's playing for Portland right now, and that's Simons, Anthony Simons. Other than that, you can pretty much pass on the rest of them. Keon Johnson and your Josh Harts and your CJ Elabes and Drew Eubanks as your starting center because Nurkic is still out. I mean, it's pretty patchwork right now, this Portland Trailblazers roster at the moment. So this does feel like the Suns could smack them down. The Suns do have their issues, though. They haven't looked good the last couple of games. Chris Paul, they're still adjusting to life without him. Devin Booker looks like he's still going to be out here for this game. In fact, not still out. He's been playing, but ruled out for this game due to health and safety protocols. So that is a concern. That's probably why we've seen some Phoenix or some Portland money, rather, starting backcourt out of the game tonight for the Suns when you're talking about CP3 and Devin Booker not going to play. Good news is Cameron Payne, we haven't seen him for a while. He looks like he's going to come back from a wrist injury that's kept him out since way back into mid-January, since the last time he played. But Cam Payne looks like he could be back tonight for Phoenix. And certainly with Paul and Booker out, definitely that is going to be good news for the Phoenix Suns. So this is a tricky game. It feels like the Portland's playing badly enough the last 2 games. The Suns should be focused enough to just crush this team. But at the same time, no Paul, no Booker. That's a big, big, big twosome to be without if you're the Suns. So, yeah, initially I was looking Phoenix for sure. First half full game, I probably would still lean that way, but it's tempered my enthusiasm seeing, Phoenix without their entire backcourt tonight on the floor. So it is a little bit of a concern. I'd still lean Suns, but not sure I'm going to pull the trigger on it. Wham, we'll start with you on this one. Final game of the Wednesday card, Portland, Phoenix.
Yeah, no Booker in this game. Yeah, you obviously you don't have Dame or Chris Paul here either. So it's tough to like gauge what type of game I'm going to expect. Who's going to show up for Phoenix? First person I think of is Cameron Johnson. So I want to go and attack his props here, but then I think about it like, nah, it could be some off-brand motherfucker like, I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to be disrespectful here, but Landry Shamet ass fucking kills me all the time. So I'll just say it. But no, neither here nor there. As far as going down the rabbit hole and why I don't like him, but for the most part, it's I don't know, bro. Anthony Simons is somebody I'm looking at in this game as far as props. This is definitely a game. I got a few plays already in motion, so I'm like, I don't think I want any action on here, but I do think I may want to jump in on Anthony Simons today because he really going to be trying to cook the next team. So I can see this happening here, but I'm going to stay away, though. Shout out to everybody in that. Real Simba. Appreciate you, bro. Everybody in here.
All right, good stuff. So but staying away a little. That's what I feel, a little cautious here with this game tonight with the Blazers and the Suns. It's minus 150. A little steep, the price. But how is it not a slam dunk, no pun intended, that DeAndre Ayton doesn't have a double-double tonight? How is this not one of the biggest mismatches from a center versus center matchup? Drew Eubanks, are you kidding me, against DeAndre Ayton? I mean, my goodness, that should be a complete and utter whitewash for DeAndre Ayton tonight in that one-on-one matchup. So I think Ayton double-double, even if it is minus 150 worth a look, you could go points. He has been filling it up lately, Ayton. Last couple games have been pretty good. From him, 23 against the Jazz, 20 against the Pelicans. You could go over points. You could go PRA as well, but certainly double-double. He's got an advantage in that matchup, in my opinion. What do you think, Dutch, here, Blazers and Suns?
Yeah, man. Big shout out to our guy, Mark Nick. I see you, my dude. Ron Crawford, too. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the spreadsheet play of the day is the motherfucking Miami Heat. So that's a beautiful thing. I like what I see there. This is, Yeah, back with this motherfucker, man. I don't even.
I think you've
I remember
blanked out.
what
What are
game
we
we're
talking
talking
about
about.
again? Portland and
Yeah.
Phoenix. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I'm not touching this motherfucking game for nothing. Not a Nathan.
That might be the best bet. You don't want to mess around maybe with laying 11 with Phoenix. They're not playing. They've lost 2 in a row. They don't have Paul or Booker. Hit the DeAndre Ayton props. That's probably the best
Dennis
way
get
if you like
money.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah, DA been eating. Dennis get money. Said he think the Blazers are going to win tonight. Don't hate him. We never hate you, bro. Never hate you. But
No.
yeah, that's going out on a limb. That's for sure. Past that.
They are a little
over there,
ripe for the
smoking.
picking. Yeah, right now, the Suns. The question is Portland good enough to take advantage? Because let's be honest, Portland's had their teeth kicked in the last 2 games. They've been totally humiliated the last 2 games. So it's not like they're playing great right now. Skee, what do you think here? Portland, Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be getting involved in this game, but I agree with you. Aiden should have success. Blazers have just been terrible. They lost their last 2 games by 30 plus.
Yeah.
I don't see. I mean, Booker and OCP, we still have a double-digit line. I think they're maybe begging for some Portland money here. Portland's just that bad right now, so it's a one-way ticket out with Phoenix or stay out the way.
Phoenix or stay out of the way. I agree with that. It would be the same for me. Suns or pass. Great stuff with Skee, with Wham, with Dutch. Wednesday NBA Pub Hub show. Hit the like button. 329 live viewers. Let's go. Get that like count up. Hit that like button. We appreciate it very much. We're here, of course, Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern with the NBA Pub Hub. We'll wrap things up in just a minute or so with best bets and Dutch's freshest look coming right up. All right, Southtown 101, when you're in San Antonio, Texas, which many of us will be in just 3 weeks or so from now. I can't believe it's that close. 3 weeks from the Pubapalooza. We'll be there. Southtown 101, San Antonio, Texas, Parada Street Avenue. Make sure you stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke at Southtown 101. Manscaped, promo code PubSports. 20% off your purchase, Lawnmower 4.0 or any Manscaped product, 20% off with promo code PubSports and mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. NBA, college basketball, March Madness, conference tournaments already underway. We're already seeing double-digit seeds beating higher seeds in these tournaments. Unbelievable. Crazy action, college basketball, NBA, NHL, UFC. Sign up for an account, mybookie.ag, Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit, and the Pub Rub. There it is, $14.99, 2 for $25. Check it out, pubsportsradio.com. All right, best bets, Dutch's freshest look. Skee, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet here?
Best bet. I might steal yours, Ian. I don't know, but I was thinking about it all day. Like I said, you like it, I like it. I'll give you 2. I like Philly team total over 117. I like the full game over 222.5. That one was available at BetMGM. So I think, Harden and homecoming is going to be a good night for Philly.
I agree with both of those. I bet both of those. I like both of those. Philly team total over, full game over 222.5, 223.5 right now. The current 223 actually is still out there at a couple places. So shop around, but over 223, Sixers, Knicks, best bet along with the Sixers team total over for Skee. Couple best bets here for this Wednesday. Wham, what do you got for best bet?
Yeah, man, I'm going right where my guy was at, man. We're going to Philadelphia, Harden's homecoming, but we need shooters. He needs shooters, so I'm going with George Niang over 5.5, minus 130. Again, 11 games, it's hit 9 times, bro. Let's get back to the bag. George Niang over 5.5 points.
There you go. It doesn't need much. A couple buckets or just three twos or a couple threes will get there. A couple trays will get it done. Over 5.5. George Niang points for Wham with his best bet. All right, Dutch, freshest look.
See, I waited for it this time. All right, freshest look. We're going to motherfucking New Orleans. And usually I fuck with the tequila, but not tonight, my friends. It's bourbon, and we're gonna hit them streets right after we hit the motherfucking window. Pelicanos -6. That's good money.
There it is. I knew it. New Orleans Pelicans -6. Freshest look for Dutch, though. He was talking with such strong confidence in that New Orleans bet. He's rocking with it tonight for his freshest look. My best bet is going to be Miami Heat +4.5 against Milwaukee. The heat is on. It's on the street. There's a little sample of what's to come karaoke wise at San Antonio in a few weeks. But Miami Heat +4.5. We've got them getting points. I like the way they're playing. The Bucks, I just don't trust them right now. They've struggled against the superior competition. The wins are really the sisters of the poor in the NBA. Washington, Indiana, the LA teams. I mean, that's really who they've been beating lately. It's not been impressive. So Miami, I think we have a competitive game, worst case scenario. Wouldn't even surprise me to see them find a way to win. Miami +4.5 against Milwaukee for my best bet for this Wednesday NBA card. And that'll wrap up this edition of the NBA Pub Hub. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. We appreciate it. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't done so already. We got Net Profit College Basketball Show here on Pub Sports Radio with Maxwell Smart and Connor Mack coming up next, so stay tuned for that. For Skee Profit, Dutch Boy Fresh, Trot Wham, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Let's cash some tickets in the NBA, in the association, and we'll see you again tomorrow, Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. 1 Pacific for another edition of the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. You know where it's at, Pub Sports Radio. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video. Yo, salute to the real ones. Stay fresh, stay blessed. Let's stay put these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.